I'm going to be honest with you, the tips that I'm going to be giving you in this video, you're probably victim of at least one of them. Because these are very common mistakes by less experienced players in RuneScape and sometimes even experienced players in RuneScape. In this video, we're going to be over some tips that will help you to get out of these noob traps. So, let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? My name's Chevalric and today we're going to be talking about something that I would like to call noob traps in RuneScape, or mistakes that people fall victim to that on the outside look like good upgrades or good investments or in general good ways to play the game, but in reality are actually bad for you on the long term, or well, less efficient. And there's not going to be some ultimate efficient guide or just PVM related. It's going to go over all the aspects of the game from skilling to PVM, but also about what you should do with your money, because a lot of people make a lot of mistakes in this game that, you know, can really hold you back. And if you listen to some of these tips, you might be able to elevate your RuneScape account to the next level. So if you're going to enjoy this video, definitely consider giving it a like. It generally helps me out and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these types of videos and that you want to see more of it. And if you do, let me know in the comment section down below what kind of other like tips and trick videos do you want to do. I have some planned out because I generally really like making these videos. And also let me know if there are any noob traps that you are aware of and you want some tips on, or that you have fallen victim to and you escaped from, or just some tips that you might have from some players in the comment section down below, because you guys come up with some incredibly smart stuff sometimes. So I genuinely really do appreciate it, and consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 5k by the end of this year, and it would be amazing if we could hit that. It's a huge goal for me, but if we do get there, that would just be amazing. And follow me on Twitch. I'm live every single day at 5 p.m. game time. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So first things first, I think it's important to talk about the most important part about this entire game, especially as a main account, and that's money. GP, gold, moolah. Pretty much, a lot of people that are probably watching this video have some money sitting in their coin pouch right now, or if you're an old school type of player that likes to have their money in the bank, I'm looking at you, you know who you are, and tell me, how much is it? It's probably more than 20 mil, right? Hopefully it is, because that means you're balling. But even if it's just 10 mil, it's probably worth you spending that money. And you're probably thinking, Chef, I'm saving up for X, Y, Z. I'm saving up for Luck of the Dwarves. I'm saving up for this. I'm saving up for that. Well, it is usually better to spend your money and invest it into either upgrades or levels or any other upgrades to your account that make it better than just have it sit there and do nothing. It used to be something that I used to do a lot. It's just, I would have sitting 100 mil or 200 mil. I would just have it sitting around in my bank or on my coin pouch or whatever. And there was nothing I really did with it. And it kind of felt pointless, but I was like, yeah, but I really want to just go straight from like tier 80 to tier 90, for example, instead of going to tier 80 to tier 85. And I'm going to be telling you, it's probably better if you invest in tier 85 compared to tier 90 in one go, because quite frankly, that slight gear upgrade will make you making money a little bit quicker, and it will get you to that tier 90 quicker as well. And the chances of that tier 85 dropping in price that much that you will lose a lot of money is very slim. Of course, unless some update happens and you get unlucky, that can always happen. I mean, look at what happened to the Fractured of Armadale. It crashed with 1 bill. I know that's like the best weapon in the game, right? So that's a little bit different, but you know, it can happen. But in general, it's best to invest your money back into your account, whether that's a skill level, like for example getting 96 herb, or to get overloads, to get an incredible boost to be able to do PVM a lot better and a lot more efficiently and just get cleaner kills in general, or if it's training up a skill to unlock a better money maker, for example dino arrows with fire making and fletching, where you need to invest some money into getting there. There are many things that you can use your money for, or GP for, in this game that benefit your account, and it just sitting in your coin pouch just has no purpose at all. And sometimes, even when it comes to skilling, it is better to do it faster as well. And that's kind of my second tip. Sometimes it's better to invest more money into a skill to do a quicker or more efficient method than just, you know, doing the money making method, or doing the, well, mainly the money making method. Because think about it on the long term, right? Like I did this with woodcutting. I spent like 35 million GP at the time when I got 99 woodcutting on the runes for crystallize, which makes runecrafting makes woodcutting like 4 times as quick than it usually is. So let's say on average I save about 15 to 20 hours with that. If I can do an average moneymaker of 10 million GP an hour, especially at my level, especially at the time, then that would be 150 mil profit. I'm probably not going to be making about 100 mil. Obviously, I'm subtracting the 50 mil or about 35, 40 mil that I spent on woodcutting from this. So I will definitely not be making 100 mil from doing the slow method of woodcutting by doing woodcutting, of course. And it's way better for me to just, you know, spend that time that I'm saving on clues or PVM or whatever you do. So pretty much, it sometimes is better to do a skill faster, and it's actually more profit in a way to do a skill faster than doing it the slow profitable method, which sounds very twisted and wrong, but it generally is true. It's about time, right? Like if you can make a certain amount of GP an hour and you know about the amount of GP an hour you can make, then do some calculations for yourself and see what is best, because yes, it might be better to invest that money. But going on to something else that, you know, the majority of the players like to do and enjoy doing, it's PVM. And I think one of the things that every single YouTuber has said, and I'm going to be saying as well, is focus on one style instead of upgrading all styles. I've seen a lot of players just upgrading all their combat styles, so like tier 80 for example. And let's just say for argument's sake that getting tier 80 in every single tier is about 100 mil, right? Like from scratch it's 100 mil to get everything. I know that is not completely accurate, but just for argument's sake, right? You spend 100 mil on your melee setup, on your mage setup, and your range setup. So that's 300 million GP spent on getting everything to tier 80. Think about it this way. If you just focus on one style, whether it's magic, range, or melee, I would definitely recommend focusing on magic or range because they are really strong at this moment in time. Even if you don't have the best in slot stuff, especially with range, for example, it is really good. Even if you just have a tier 90 bow with the new arrows, it's extremely powerful. And think about it this way. If you don't spend your money, for example, if you go for range on mage and melee, you have an extra 200 million to spend. That could be the amount of money that you need for your Noxious Bow, or that could be the amount of money that you need for a certain armor set, or even perks, for example. Like, you might be able to get some good perks from that if you don't have that yet. Like, just see it this way. If you just focus on one style, you just have more money to spend on that style. And you might be thinking, well, certain bosses have weaknesses, right? Sure. And even though they don't really matter that much in many, many cases, think about it this way. The slight DPS increase that you will have by using the right style is nowhere near the DPS increase that you can get by spending that money that you would have used to get that style, right, on an upgrade for your main style. So for example, if you are going to main range, that 100 mil that you spend, that you wouldn't spend on your melee setup, that would slightly be better at a certain boss, would be way more DPS than your melee setup would have been in the first place, if that makes any sense. So pretty much your tier 85 compared to your tier 80 melee would be way better than, you know, that slight affinity that you would have for using melee. I hope that makes sense, me explaining that, but pretty much what I'm saying, it's better to focus on one style compared to different styles at once. And that goes for something as well. If you are focusing on range or magic, please don't get Elite Sirenic or Elite Tectonic. They are very expensive for a very slight upgrade compared to the normal Sirenic and Tectonic. Normal Sirenic and Tectonic are really good armor sets, and yes, Elite Sirenic and Elite Tectonic are better, and it's just not worth getting, especially not for the price points. Full Elite Sirenic, I think at this moment in time, costs like 15 million GP. And if you augment your body and legs, they will not degrade to dust, which it usually would do. And that's what turns a lot of people off it. So you'll be fine with it, and you could just restore it by using your money on it. Sure, your helm will degrade to dust, but your helm will be like 8 or 10 million GP or whatever. I don't know how expensive it actually is. Like, let's say 10 million GP. If in the amount of hours it takes for your Sirenic helm to degrade, you don't make 10 million GP, I don't know what you're doing in this game, bro. Like, I genuinely have no clue what you're doing. I can log in and make 10 million GP without anything. Like, literally, you can do a shop run and make half your Sirenic mask. So, literally, in 2 days, you can make your Sirenic mask back, or Tectonic for that. I think Tectonic is slightly more expensive, but you get the point. Like, it's not worth getting Elite Sirenic or Elite Tectonic at all. It's like one of the last upgrades you want to be doing for your account before getting it. It's way better to get weapons, because especially it's pretty much like DPS over armor anyway, and especially in this case because Sirenic to Elite Sirenic or Tectonic to Elite Tectonic is such a minor upgrade in the grand scheme of things. It's just not worth it for the amount of money it costs, because it's literally like 10 times the amount of money, if not more actually. And another thing that's really not worth it is the luck of the dwarves. And I think this is the perfect example of a noob trap. A lot of people see the luck of the dwarves, which will give you an extra 1% chance of getting a drop at bosses. And people think, oh, this will make me richer. But see it this way. If a drop is 1 in 65, for example, right? You have a 6.5% chance. No, not even. 0.65% chance of getting a drop. So 65 is minus 0.65 is about, 64.35. Which pretty much means that you still have to do 65 kills if you go exactly on drop rate, because you can't really do a 35% kill and get a drop, right? So sure, it helps you in the grand scheme of things, but on the short term, it doesn't really. And why I'm bringing this up is because a lot of players see this and set this as an early game goal, because they think this ring that will cost me 70 to 80 million GP will get me better drops because, well, I have a 1% chance increase of getting them. But in reality, that's not really how it works, because that 1% increase, sure, it will help, as I said, in the grand scheme of things, but that 80 million GP, you could probably spend on something that does more DPS, make you get 1 or 2 kills more an hour, which outweighs getting the luck of the dwarves to begin with. Because, sure, you might have 1 kill less to do to get a certain drop if something is 1 in 100, for example, right? Ways your example, you only have to do 99 kills if you go exactly on drop rate. But if you get an upgrade that is 70 million GP and you can do like 5 kills an hour more, then what's the point of luck with the dwarves? You get what I mean? Like, you're saving time anyway, like, because it's obviously time versus kills. Sure, you might have to do more kills, well, 1 more kill, but if you could do more kills an hour because you spent that money you would have otherwise spent on your luck with the dwarves, then there's no point in getting a luck door. Sure, if you have the money and you have spare money to do it, it's definitely worth getting. It's not a bad upgrade or something, but it's not something you should focus on when you don't have like decent gear or just have money to just throw away, right? Like it's something you shouldn't get like till, as I said, you just have to throw away money. But those are just some tips that I have and that I think are very common noob traps in RuneScape. I really hope you enjoyed this video though, because it is something a little bit different to what I usually do, and I just thought I would make it, and I have another tips and tricks videos for in the future. So if you do enjoy it, as I said, please leave a like. It generally helps me out to see if you guys like it, and in the comments let me know what you thought. What are some of these that you fall victim to, and subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, my name's Chevalric, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.